I love to fish. My earliest memories were catching snapper in Port Phillip Bay, some 40 odd years ago. And today, I've turned that passion into a career, and it's the best job in the world.
This is not for the faint-hearted, I tell you. Oh.
On the water, 200 days a year, I get to battle and film some of the biggest fish in the ocean, and then share it in magazines and newspapers and TV shows around the world.
Yes!
But it's not all roses. I have to fish, rain, hail or shine.
Oh my God, I'm wet, I'm freezing cold, and I'm loving it! Woohoo!
And take on the wildlife to produce the goods.
There's only 1 million sharks in there, she'll be right.
But you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way, because there is nothing as exciting as getting up close and personal with big fish, especially when you do it from a trailer bait, a tinny or even a kayak.
Yep, got it. Yeah, go McGlashan.
Better still, I get to do it with some of the best fishers in the country.
I'll tell you one thing, no other show goes to this length to catch a fish, and I'll guarantee that.
So join me, Al McGlashan, on a fishing adventure like no other, catching big fish from small boats. Welcome to Victoria, and in particular, welcome to Lake Eildon. Now, I had this really well-oiled plan. I've got Steve there, the local guru, ready to go. 6:30 down the ramp, we're going. This is it. We're going to catch trout, we're going to catch probably a few reddies, show what Eildon's got to offer. Except, typical big fish, small boats. Steve was here at 6:30. We arrived, 9:30. A few problems as usual, getting ready, because we're always organised and we're always late. And now Steve's gone fishing. So, I don't know how long this episode will be, but it might just be me standing on the bank, waiting for Steve. Hopefully he turns up. Glad you're on time, Steve, not like some of us.
Morning, Al.
Beautiful. Now, I suppose I should introduce Steve, now that he's actually turned up and he's on time, you know, not like me. Steve is the local guru of Eildon. He is the man that will catch everything. What are we catching today, Steve? Tell me the good news.
This time of year, hopefully we'll find a few trout and maybe a few redfin.
Beautiful. That's what we want. Reddies and trout. Time to catch a fish. With our life jackets on, action cam's ready, we set off for one of Steve's favourite fishing spots to start trolling. Some guys get really technical, don't they? They get, you know, they've got downriggers, cowbells, all that sort of stuff, but do you need that or not?
There's a never-ending list of what you can hook on the end of the line, but if we stick to the basics, particularly this time of year, sort of pre-spawn and then post-spawn when the fish are having a bit of a feed, you can fish flatline, basically Tassie Devils or little minnow-style lures.
Yeah, like those little, my favourite little halcos,
yeah,
one I caught my big trout on last time.
And you can pretty much poke along and just, all it is really is you match the speeds to your lure, and that's it. Troll along your edges.
So that's a good point, isn't it? So a lot of people go, you must go at 1.2 knots, you must go at 3 point, whatever. Instead, it's not. It's just get it so your lure's running right, and you can feel it now. Like we're holding one, we've got two rods, it's got three out, I should say. I'm holding one and I'm twitching, and you can feel it vibrating.
Yeah, so it's a waste of time if you have two lures at one speed and one at another one, you won't have all three working. So really, if you want to change and go to a bit deeper dive as the sun comes out, you change to all three, you know, so
yeah,
all
to
run
get
at the
everything,
same speed.
yeah, and that won't get everything working.
We're on.
Okay. Look at that, he's got one already. Lake Eildon is home to a healthy population of brown and rainbow trout, as well as redfin. More recently, native species like Murray cod and yellowbelly have also gotten a foothold in this lake. And every year, fisheries release about 70,000 trout fingerlings.
Oh, now he's carried on.
How's that? He came halfway in and did nothing. It's not a bad start, mate. It's 5 minutes of fishing. Not even 5 minutes. We've already got a little brown. Touching that side for it. He's only a little guy, but still good. You know what?
It's a start.
It's a start, and catch your fish straight away. Bloody great way. And it's a single hook on the old Tassie.
For some reason, the last couple of years, the pink Tassie Devils are virtually unbeatable. Why the pink?
It's just pink.
Yeah, they just go for it.
Almost went over the side. Just give them a second. A lot of guys, they force them in the water and stuff like that. Just give them a second. Let them get their bearings. There we go, mate. There you go. And off he goes. Swim away properly as opposed to a lot of guys just chuck them back in. Just give them a second and get their bearings. One trout down. How many are we going to catch those, Steve?
Oh, at that rate, if we stayed here for another hour, we should have a dozen.
And then we're
one every 5 minutes.
Perfect. And then we're having cans. I shouldn't say that on TV, should I? And remember to get social with Big Fish Small Boats. Check out the website bfsb.com.au. Follow us on Facebook or watch all the episodes from past seasons on YouTube. And for the latest fishing reports and pics, check out Al McGlashan on Instagram. Coming up, the Tassie strikes again. Following Steve's advice, we trolled to the speed of our lures, and it soon paid off. Now how's this for the courteous bloke that I am, that I handed it over the skipper. Now we've had bites on every lure we've had out. So we've got the Tassie, which is kind of a traditional one. Of course, my beloved little Halco, which I've successfully lost every bite on. And we've got another sort of little minnow style out the other side, and that's worked as well. But it's the old Tassie that's produced both so far. You know, the important thing is they are getting better, Steve, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're getting bigger.
Pretty little fish.
And what we wanted to show you is that how successful trolling is. And it's a cruisy way to fish, isn't it?
It is pretty comfortable, yeah.
Now, I suppose, you know, it's things like, what would you suggest as a couple of tips? You know, obviously using a mix of lures, that's obviously one of the important things.
Yeah, cover the depths a little bit so you have one little run shallow. Again, like as long as they keep those same speeds and keep the actions right. One shallow, one a bit deeper, a few different colours.
Yeah, colours seem to be, well, it's the pink Tassie.
It seems to be the clearer the water, the brighter the colour, which doesn't sort of make sense, but that's what works, yeah.
It's almost the opposite, isn't it?
Yeah,
you know, it's almost like you go, oh, it's a bright day, we need to use darker colours and get deeper in nuts. Go shallow and do the top. But what we might do is, I reckon, I'm all for letting trout go and stuff, but this guy is going on the menu because he is going to be made for dinner. Maybe we'll knock over a samba later on, and then it's venison and smoked trout. So you, my little friend, going on the menu. Plus I actually dropped him out 3 times, so yeah. Rightio, lunch is done, and being the hardcore fishermen we are, we stopped, had a nice lunch, sat back, relaxed on the bank. So, more importantly, I've been trolling this little guy. Little RMG Scorpion, I don't know, small one. Got nailed before, but I'm going to try and change. And I think sometimes a lot of people keep changing lures that you don't really need to. It's a matter of being on top of the fish. If it's working right, you'll get a shot. However, I still haven't actually caught a fish. Steve's got 2, I got 0. So, I'm going to swap it over. Right, get it out. A lovely little gold Laser Pro. One of my favourites. And the only reason I'm choosing this gold colour is because I forgot my tackle box and I've only got 2 lures to choose from. Now, Steve works at fisheries there now, doing all the aquaculture and all that sort of stuff, and well, we kind of put this down as like a research day, you know, checking to see what the fish are like. And you guys stocked, how much? Eildon's been stocked for God knows how long, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been stocked for a long time, but there's been a big push now. In the last 3 years, we've put over 1 million Murray cod in here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's a massive boost for it. So I'm a bit biased, so I look after the native fish side of things, but...
and you've taken me trout fishing.
Yeah. Wintertime special, yeah. And what we've done is a little bit of a side thing to that is that all the fish that we put in here have been marked with a fluorescent dye.
Ah.
So a calcine. So what we can do is go back and do the research and work out which ones we've bred naturally and which ones we've stocked. It'll give us a great base of info of where to stock and when to.
Yeah.
It's really good stuff. Yeah.
Lake Eildon is arguably Victoria's favourite freshwater fishing destination, with trout, redfin, Murray cod and yellow belly all found in good numbers. And better still, the camping in the adjoining forest is amazing. And if you want to put that D-Max to the test, there's no shortage of trails to go exploring. Coming up, we find the reddies, but it's not quite what we had planned. What's the technique? So we're basically just keeping against the edge there, watch on the sounder.
Yeah, look along the sounder. This time of year, if the redfin are schooled up as well, so I keep an eye on the sounder the whole time. Depth isn't really that critical, but if we see a school of reddies, we'll stop into the fish for it. So that's more of an idea of that.
Well, with that said, we headed to one of Steve's favourite reddy spots. As soon as we tied up to the tree, Steve came through with his word and we hooked up.
Got him on.
Oh,
Something there?
Wait and see what he does. Not doing anything now. I was about to pick one of those or something. Hit at the start and then, oh, now that's fish.
Yeah, there's a little reddy.
No way, go McGlashan.
Oh, now hook side on.
Oh yeah.
No, it was a bit hard to hook.
Yeah, what the hell's going on with this? Look at the size of that. Oh my God. Well, it worked. You gave me the technique and you said...
I didn't say what size.
Yeah, you didn't say what size it was. Maybe you said there's a small and biting, but bloody hell. Oh, throw him back.
Hold on.
At least I caught a redfin.
See, looks like have a look in the sounder now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What do you do?
It's twice that we did that. It's only a little one again, but bloody hell. Yeah. God, they're getting... I don't know if it's the same one as before, but you said these redfin are bigger.
I said they were big in the winter.
Bloody hell. That's two off the same... Two trees. I've caught one on every tree. And they're tiny. This is arguably one of the smallest redfin I've ever caught. You know, I'm complaining about how today I can't catch anything, but you know, you caught 2 trout, you caught these, I've caught that, I've caught nothing. Whoop. And we're catching reddies, and the bite's on, and they're absolutely tiny. Look at the size of it. Oh my God, it is actually bigger.
Well, with that shocking performance out of the way, we headed on for a change. And this time, it was to shoot some images from a column in the Daily Telegraph.
Well, it's getting darker, it's getting colder, and I still haven't caught a trout. You know, before, I had to go and do some still shots. So the guy's got me on the bank, I should say this guy, Steve, he's already caught, well, he's caught all the trout, he's caught probably more redfin. And I get on the bank, I go, right guys, just drive past here. And you guys hook up again. Ridiculous. I'm like jinxed or something, there's something wrong with me. I had to put my beanie on to keep warm, and I still haven't caught a trout yet. Great host, aren't I? Don't you reckon? Great host, yeah. Oh well, but that's it, you know, you keep going, and this is a good time, isn't it, Steve? At the end of the day, like, all jokes aside that I'm absolutely retarded, can't catch a fish to save myself, but this is a better time, isn't it? It's prime time.
First light, last light, yeah, that's a peak time for the feeding, so we're still in with a shot.
No, you're saying we as in we or we as in you, because you're actually including me in that now?
Reputation of Steve's guiding service on the line, yeah.
Make yourself the complete angler by winning the ultimate fishing prize. A Bluefin drifter 3.8 with front casting deck and full floor. Sitting pretty on a Dumbier trailer. Powered by a 2-stroke 15 horsepower outboard motor. And better still, there's $2,000 worth of awesome Shimano fishing gear to get you hooked up to that big fish out of a small boat. Plus there's an inshore safety equipment kit and comprehensive boat insurance with the boys at Club Marine. And it's all registered. That's $10,000 worth of prizes. And it's easy to enter. Just buy any product from The Complete Angler for your chance to win. And for full terms and conditions, visit CompleteAngler.com.au. The Complete Angler, supplying fishermen with the complete fishing experience since 1967. Coming up, I finally hook up.
Yep. That's three bunches of that.
And we fish on into the night. It's not a monster, but it's a trout from McGlushan. And I tell you what, Steve, this has been longer than a long time coming. I've had that little Laser Pro out, the little RMG out, and the bloody pink Tassie every time. In the old days when I used to fish here, and I'm talking 20 years ago, it was all a pink Tassie. It hasn't changed. Look at the size of it. Holy moly. I don't know how we're going to handle this one. But I don't care because I finally caught a fish. Now normally, Steve, because yours was so big, I had to get you to come and land it. I don't honestly think I need your help. And I'm not being that because of being rude or insulting or anything like that.
I can put the glove on and tail it for if you really want.
Yes, look at that.
Well done, Al. That's nice little fish.
You know what? It is. That's exactly what it is. It's a nice little fish. And you know what? All these people that go, there'll be someone that right and go, oh, that's big fish, small boats. That's not a big fish. Well, it's a fish. And that's what we're out here for, is to catch big trout, little trout, medium trout. I got my PB going to Eucambine, and I got my not so PB out of Eildon. With the sun slipping down over the hills, we trolled home, just waiting for that afternoon bite.
I let it touch on that all that time when you cook it.
End of the day, didn't we say they'd come on a bit more? Look at that. Now that's not a bad trout. I'm very impressed with that. And you know the funny part, we're talking about twitching your lure. That lure has sat in the rod holder all day. Steve picks up, twitches it twice, and gets this baby out of it. Nice big brown. Well, he was all good till he bolted.
Didn't have to ask twice. I like it. Yep. That's three bumps of it, that. I like going looking for you.
He might have his back to the camera, but he's hooked up again. Eildon as a kid, when I was here, was crap. I caught little tiny redfin, like the one I caught today. Okay, hang on, let me rephrase that. Now that is another nice, not a monster, but that's a respectable fish that you caught again, that I haven't caught. I've done so well, I caught one today.
You want to swap seats?
I'm going to sit on the bank. Every time I got out of the boat, they catch fish. Stay on the boat, they catch them around me. So now, there are 3 tips I can offer that'll help you catch more fish. I might offer them, but it's actually Steve's ideas. Firstly, run a mix of lures. So a shallow runner, a medium runner, maybe a spoon, or of course the pink Tassie. You can't go past it. Secondly, use lures that go at the same speed. Now by this I mean, don't use a fast running, shallow running lure with a deeper diver that's a slow waddle. Pick lures that run at the same speed, they'll work a lot better, particularly when trolling. Finally, stick to the edge of the trees. Steve proved today that it's not rocket science, it's just stay on the edge of the trees, close to the bank. You will get stagged now and again, you will lose a few lures, and that's thanks to the boys at Club Marine Magazine.